slaving over a hot stove canning your tomatoes for winter. It isn't necessary, and I have a game changer in the food preservation world that is gonna make your life so easy come fall, and you're not gonna believe how delicious, how fast, and how healthy this is. This is Carolyn from Homesteading Family, and today I'm gonna show you how to preserve your tomatoes by fermenting them. Hey you guys, for the written directions for this project, follow the link in the description. Guys, you are going to be amazed that you have never done this before. This is so healthy. Lacto-fermented vegetables are a wonderful way to add great probiotics and enzymes to your diet, into your family's diet. Plus, you're going to be blown away at how fast this is and how easy this is. Now today I'm going to do a quart jar of tomatoes just to show you, but you can scale this up as much as you want. You can do 2 quarts, you can do a gallon jar, you can do a 5-gallon bucket. The one thing that you have to do is make sure you're working with a food grade vessel of some sort. Make sure it's very clean, freshly washed with hot soapy water, and make sure that you have a way to keep the tomatoes underneath the brine for the size vessel you're working with. If you're working with a large bucket, this may be like a glass plate. It may be a glass fermenting weight. It may just be the lid of something that you can push down on the tomatoes to keep the brine level all the way up. Those are the 2 important parts here. Now, I'm going to show you how I'm going to do a quart of tomatoes in less than 30 seconds. You guys are just going to be absolutely amazed. Now, I like to put a little bit of flavoring in, and so I'm just going to throw in a clove of garlic. If you're in a hurry, you don't even have to peel it. I like to peel it because it's easier to cook with at the end, because I like throwing the garlic right in with the tomatoes when I cook with them. Now, for every quart size, you want about 3 tablespoons of a really good high quality salt. That means no iodized salt, no table salt. Those things have chemicals in them that will stop the bacteria in your lacto-fermented food from proliferating, which is exactly what keeps your food preserved in a fermentation. Okay, so I just put 3 tablespoons of my salt in. I'm just gonna put a little bit of water in here so that I can just help that salt dissolve. Now a kosher salt, a Celtic salt, this was a Himalayan pink salt, all of those things would be just fine. A real sea salt that doesn't have a bunch of additives to it, all those things are fine. Now I don't need to get this entirely dissolved, just mostly dissolved is great. And then all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take these tomatoes. Aren't they pretty? They're orange blossom tomatoes. They're nicely washed, so they're just clean, right out of the garden, and I'm gonna squeeze as many of these things as I can right on into this jar. Now you can see in some of these other jars that I've done, I have gone ahead and put some basil as flavoring. You can get creative with your flavoring. You can do whatever you want in there. All right, and I'm just gonna keep squishing them in. Whoop, squirt it a little. Now I try not to crush them too much, but you know, it really doesn't matter. And they are gonna shrivel up a little bit. Now the one drawback to this system I've gotta say is that because they're going in whole, they do take up quite a bit of space. But look at that. I mean, that's it. All I'm going to do is I'm going to top this guy with some water. Make sure that those tomatoes are all the way under, and you know, they're squished in there real tight. They're not gonna move very much. And I'm gonna cap them up. Now, I'm gonna leave them on the counter for about 3 weeks, just the kitchen counter or back in a shelf or somewhere for about 3 weeks. And after that point, I'm gonna try to get them into somewhere dark and cool. Now, that could be your refrigerator if that's all you have, but for me, a cool pantry shelf works just fine. Now, these guys will last, especially in cool weather, for months, and you are going to be absolutely amazed at the amazing fresh tomato flavor that they're gonna have when you pull them out. So I'm gonna stick this guy on the counter again for 3 weeks. I'm gonna give them a little shake when I walk by just to make sure that salt's all in there and those flavors are getting combined, but you know, really that's probably not even necessary. And then I'm gonna go ahead and set them back on a dark pantry shelf, and I'm gonna leave them there until I'm ready to use them. Now, if you really want these to last for a long time, the real trick to this is to make sure you use the last of your summer tomatoes to do this, right when the weather is starting to cool off. Because these are fermented, and so warm weather makes fermentation happen faster. And so they'll start to get sour if you've done these in warm weather and they sit out for too many months. We cannot get these things past about 2 or 3 months in our house because they're so good. They're everybody's favorite spaghetti sauce, pizza sauce, whatever you want to make out of them. You're just going to be blown away by the flavor of these things. So look at that, a quart jar. Can you imagine how fast you could do a 5-gallon bucket of these things? You just dump in the salt, mix a little water, put in your tomatoes, weight it down, fill it up with the rest of the water, and you're good to go. That's it. Stick them down in the basement or the cellar or somewhere like that, and you have your tomatoes for winter. Now, I'm going to show you guys in another video how to use these to cook with, or even not to cook with. We like to consume them raw actually, but I'm going to give you a little preview in case you guys are just antsy and want to know right now. And we stick them in the blender and blend them up and call it good. We don't even cook with them most of the time because the flavor is so fresh. You're going to feel like you're eating fresh raw marinara sauce right out of the garden, right in the middle of winter. It will be so amazing. You guys are just going to be blown away. So stop making food preservation so hard, guys. This is really easy. It doesn't take a lot of work. It doesn't have to take a lot of time. Enjoy. If you guys like this video, please share and subscribe. Leave us a thumbs up or a comment. And check out our other great preservation and fermenting videos.